Hi and welcome to this video. Now I know this is something a bit different from the channel for the current subscribers, so if you're here new then obviously you're here for the reason that you have, which I'm going to do on this video. Now as you've seen from the title, thumbnail, today I'm going to be doing the drop links on this Peugeot Partner Tepee 61 plate. Now if you do know what they sound like, then obviously you can just bypass this bit and skip to where I do the job. But for those who don't, I did try to do a recording of what they sound like, but for some reason it didn't come off on the camera too well. So the best way to describe it, a bit embarrassing, but it's more of like a knocky glug type sound, mainly when you go over sharp bumps. It's fine when you on the motorway, on sort of soft up and down, the movement of the road, that's fine. So it's just when you go over little potholes. Now with this one it could vary from car to car, but you get the same sound hitting the front, near side or off side, and I believe that's due to how the drop links come down and link to the anti-roll bar that goes across the subframe. Now as you hit the bump, obviously it's all designed to move, so it sounds basically from the same from either side. So yeah, I'm going to stop waffling and I'm going to get on with the job. Now today it's not been the best weather, it has rained quite a few times, so I'm just going to clear the garage out a little bit, try and get at least the front of this car in, just so if it does rain then we're not going to get wet through. So I'm just going to do that now and I'll bring you back then. Okay, so the car's kind of now in the garage. It is a bit tight in here because I've got the other car in, but it should just give me enough to work on the car, just in case it rains. So the first thing we need to do is to loosen the wheel nuts on both sides. Before I forget though, if you have these caps on, see, like that, you will need this, or this little tool does help, which you push in and basically it locks on and you pull the caps off. Like so, and do that for each one. Okay, so take your 17 and not completely take out, but just loosen ever so much each one of the nuts on both sides. Don't forget one will be your locker. I've just done it but forgot to record it, so mine are all loosen out the front on both sides. So the next thing to do is to jack the car up. Now what you want to do is completely have the front end off the floor. You can do this just doing one side and jacking one side up at a time, but taking the drop links out, it makes it much more difficult because the threads don't line up straight. They're going at an angle and it's a bit more difficult. Also this helps as well if you've got a proper trolley jack and not a suicide jack, as they're not very safe at all. But if you've got an option and you do have one of those, please remember to put the spare or the tyre that you take off under the car as well, or anything like that under the car, just to stop the car from falling and potentially landing on you, or landing on the floor completely. So right, I'm going to jack the car up now and I'll bring you back then. Okay, so the car's now jacked up on both sides. Now it's difficult to see this angle because it's a bit cramped, but the car's on axle stands on both sides, so it's nice and secure. There's bricks behind the back wheel, so it's not going anywhere. I've also put the trolley jack on the side that we're working, just as a protective measure. So now we can take the front wheel off and have a look at what we're dealing with. Okay, so now you can see the tyre under, just as protection. So yeah, this is the fending article, and we have one nut at the top and one nut at the bottom. Now the first thing to do is to move this clip, and all you have to do is pull this out might be some gunk on it. Should just pull towards you. And then that should wobble off. Move that out of the way. Okay, so as you can see, this nut's a bit grubby, so I'll just take some B40 and give that a good soak. And same with the bottom one. Okay, don't be afraid to put quite a bit on. I think these have been on there quite a while. While you undo as well, you can also give the brake discs a good once over. Not looking too bad. The pads aren't too bad. Last a bit longer those. Check anything else, all the rubbers on here, on the trackwood ends, make sure they're all good, and the suspension struts themselves look fine, just a bit wet from the rain. So yeah, I'll give those a minute or two, and in the meantime I'll look for the torque bit that goes in there. Okay, so one thing I forgot to say is before looking for the torque bit, what you can do is put the 17 on that nut and try breaking it loose, because it will be seized on there, as I just found. But once that's spinning, then once it's free you can put the torque bit on. So yeah, a good idea is just to put this on first and get it to a point where you can actually turn this. So if you're lucky, while you're trying to undo this, then if it is that seized, then sometimes a nut will come off without using a torque bit. It appears this time I'm not so lucky, so now that's loose I will try and find this bit. So just a quick one as well, if it is that seized on, what I found as well, I don't know if you noticed, is that you can use one of these, and what this is a little ring that goes over the nut, and you tighten the bottom end and it pushes like a little spike, you can see there in the middle, onto the nut and then grips it and initially crushes it, so making it kind of like an oval shape, and then it will split and fall off, or you can get it just so it grips and then try and turn it with that as well. So it's quite a useful tool if you've not got one of those. So what you probably end up with is a socket with a torque bit on it. I forget what size it is because it's worn off. I'm sure someone will tell me. But yeah, a torque bit to go in there and a 17 size spanner. Now what you need to do is hold the spanner. It's a good idea to keep this one still and turn the nut. So I'll do that now and hopefully the nut should come off. So you'll have to excuse me, there's nowhere to sit the phone and record and use both hands at the same time. So I hope this is okay as a quick tutorial. But as you can see, I've undone the nut, that's now level with the end of that section there. So I'm not undoing it completely because I'm going to use it as a bit of guidance to do the bottom one. If that was undone, then the bar would be swaying around everywhere, so when you undo the bottom bit it gives that a bit more pressure to lean against, if that makes sense. So just going to do the bottom one now and then it should be done. And just like that, so I couldn't hold the camera again, the bar is now off, top and bottom, and the old one is now there, which needless to say is very well worn. So now just got to get the new one and pop it back on. Okay, so there's the shiny new one. Just make sure as well, it's a good idea to line them up and make sure they're the same size. It's always best to check. And this can be undone and popped on the same way it came off. Hopefully this time a lot easier. So hopefully I can do this one end. So there's the new one, just taking the nuts off. Now as we jacked up both sides, I say this should make it a lot easier. So over there one end, and the bottom that way, and the top straight in, with a little bit of trouble. Yeah. So as I was saying, if it was jacked up on one side, all the weight would be on the other side obviously, and this wouldn't go in as easy. You'd have to bend, re-angle that size. It's a bit of a faff. So yep, that's straight in, and now the top and bottom nuts can go back on as they were and torqued up. Okay, so that's the bar now on. Just left is this to go on. Don't forget when you put the bar on, this needs to be on the outer side, like how I did. Had to bar back off to get this out. So tighten those up to the specified torque setting, or 2 ugga duggers, and then finally pop this back on. Should just slide back over, and there we go, all done. So all that's left is to put the wheel back on, tighten it just a little bit and do the other side. Now I'm not going to show you this side because it's the same process as this side. So I say when they're both done, drop the car down, make sure everything's tightened up, the wheels, everything's out of the way of underneath the car, etc. And when you're done, go for a drive and hopefully the sound's gone. Now I hope this has been a useful tutorial or a bit of a guide. I know it's not been the best, as I can't hold the camera and do the same things at the same time, so I've got limited space because my back's literally against the wall and the car's right here. So yeah, I'd say I hope this has helped. If you have any questions or anything, leave them down below. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.